Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about the singularity.
Ooh, exciting.
I know, right? It's something we hear about all the time, but it can be kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Definitely.
So we're going to try and break it down, make it a little more understandable.
Absolutely.
And to help us with this, we're going to be looking at some videos by Ray Kurzweil
Okay.
and John von Neumann.
So, when we talk about singularity, we're not just talking about some futuristic concept.
Right.
It's something that also has roots in like math and physics.
Okay.
And it really has implications for basically everything.
So where do we even begin with something like this?
Well, I think the best place to start is with the definition, like what even is the singularity?
Yeah.
I think at its core, the singularity really refers to like a unique event that leads to profound and often unpredictable consequences.
So a single event that just kind of changes everything.
Yeah, think of it like JFK's assassination.
Oh, okay.
Like one event with shockwaves that rippled across the world.
I see what you mean. So like a small event, but massive consequences.
Yeah, exactly. And the term singularity is also used in math.
Okay.
You know, if you think about dividing by smaller and smaller numbers, you get a larger and larger result.
Right.
But what happens when you try to divide by 0?
I'm trying to remember back from like high school math class.
Yeah,
I think things get a little fuzzy there.
they do. It becomes impossible to define. It's
Yeah.
like the answer is infinitely large.
Right.
Math kind of breaks down at that point. And that idea of a point where things kind of stop making sense actually relates to the real world too,
Yep.
in a pretty mind-blowing way.
Oh, really? How so?
Black holes.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, so think about a black hole. It's this region in space where gravity is so strong that nothing, that not even light can escape.
Yeah.
And at the center of a black hole, physicists believe there's a point of infinite density, a gravitational singularity.
So it's like the ultimate divide by 0 scenario.
Exact.
But like on a cosmic scale?
Yeah, and there's this comedian, Steve Wright. He put it in a funny way.
Okay, how do you say it?
He said, black holes are where God divided by 0.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But how does all of this relate to the technological singularity that we hear so much about these days?
Well, this is where John von Neumann comes in. He was this incredible mathematician and physicist.
Right.
And he was one of the first to actually use the term singularity to describe a point in the future where technology advances so rapidly that human life is completely transformed.
So it's not just about technology getting better, it's about it like exploding forward.
Yeah, at an unimaginable speed.
Okay.
And this ties into something called the law of accelerating returns.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It suggests that technology doesn't just improve gradually, it advances exponentially.
Right.
Think about this. We went from Leonardo da Vinci sketching flying machines to the Wright brothers actually flying in like centuries.
Yeah, centuries.
But then from that first flight to landing on the moon, just 66 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge jump.
It is from barely getting off the ground to landing on the moon in less than a lifetime.
So we're not talking about like a slow and steady progress. This is like a giant leap forward.
Exactly. And the best way to understand the power of exponential growth is through a story.
I love stories.
The story of the Indian king and the chessboard.
Okay.
So the king, not fully understanding how quickly things can escalate,
Right.
he promised a wise man a single grain of rice for the first square of a chessboard.
Okay.
2 for the second, 4 for the third, and so on.
Ah, I know this one.
Yeah.
He ends up owing like more rice than exists in the entire kingdom.
Exactly. He underestimated the power of exponential growth.
Yeah.
And that's the point. You know, exponential growth can be incredibly powerful, especially when you apply it to something like technology.
Right.
It suggests that we might be on the brink of a period of just massive change.
Okay, this is seriously mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
So when do we hit this technological singularity? Anyone have a date? Circle on the calendar?
Well, futurist Ray Kurzweil, he's made some pretty specific predictions.
Okay, what does he say?
He believes the singularity will arrive around the year 2045.
2045. That's not that far off.
It's not, no.
What makes him think it's going to happen so soon?
Well, his prediction is based on that law of accelerating returns we talked about.
Okay.
Specifically, the rapid growth in computing power.
Right.
He believes that by 2045, you'll be able to buy a computer with the processing power of all human brains combined for just $1,000.
Seriously. That's insane.
It's incredible.
But what does life even look like after we hit the singularity? Are we talking flying cars and robot butlers?
Well, it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But Kurzweil paints a pretty wild picture.
Okay.
He talks about a future where artificial intelligence is just part of everyday life.
Okay.
where virtual reality is basically indistinguishable from real life,
Wow.
and where nanotechnology lets us manipulate matter at the atomic level.
Okay, that thing's just starting to sound like a sci-fi movie.
It does a little bit.
But are Kurzweil's predictions even reliable? I mean, this all sounds pretty far-fetched.
It's true that some of his predictions have been criticized. You know,
Okay.
his track record is said to be around 86% accurate,
Hmm.
meaning not all of his forecasts have been right on the money.
So maybe we should take his predictions with a grain of salt.
Perhaps. But even if he's off by a few years, the whole idea of the singularity is still something we need to think about, right?
Absolutely. It raises some really big questions about the future of humanity, the ethics of artificial intelligence,
Right.
and what it even means to be human.
Yeah.
So,
So what does all of this mean for us, the average person listening right now? Should we be prepping for a robot uprising or planning for a future of digital immortality?
well, the future is always a bit of a mystery.
It is.
But understanding the concept of the singularity can help us wrap our heads around the potential impact technology could have on our lives, our jobs, and our society as a whole.
Our entire world could look totally different.
It very well could.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break and be back soon to dive deeper into this idea of the singularity and what it means for the future.
Sounds good. You know, it's fascinating to think about how all of this rapid advancement in technology is going to reshape our world.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're diving deep into this concept of the singularity,
Right.
I'm realizing more and more it's not just a moment in time.
Yeah.
It's a process that's already happening
It is.
all around us.
Yeah.
But before we go too far down that road,
Sure.
let's maybe take a step back
Okay.
and just make sure we're clear on what defines the singularity.
Okay.
Is it really just about, computers becoming super smart?
Right.
Or is there more to it than that?
That's a great question, and you've hit on a common misconception, I think.
Okay.
The singularity is often portrayed as this sudden event where AI becomes like super intelligent.
Right, like it takes over the world.
Yeah, and takes over the world, but it's actually a much more nuanced concept.
Okay.
It's not just about AI surpassing human intelligence. It's about the ripple effects of that intelligence explosion impacting every aspect of our lives.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how that technology changes society,
Exactly.
culture, even how we understand what it means to be human.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it like the invention of the printing press.
Okay.
It wasn't just about making it easier to copy books.
Right.
It completely revolutionized communication, education, the spread of knowledge.
Mm.
And the singularity, in a similar way, isn't just about faster computers.
Yeah.
It's about a fundamental shift in the way we live,
Right.
work, interact with the world.
Okay. That helps me see the bigger picture a little better.
Good.
But let's go back to Kurzweil's predictions for a second.
Sure.
He talks a lot about this idea of merging with machines transcending our biological limits.
Right.
Is that really a possibility, or is that just science fiction?
You know, it might sound like science fiction,
It does.
but the line between biology and technology is getting blurrier every day.
That's true.
We already have pacemakers regulating heartbeats,
Yeah.
cochlear implants restoring hearing prosthetic limbs controlled by thought.
It's amazing.
As technology continues to advance,
Right.
these interventions are going to become even more sophisticated,
Yeah.
potentially leading to a future where we enhance our bodies and minds with artificial components.
So are we talking about becoming cyborgs? Is that what life after the singularity looks like?
It's certainly a possibility.
Wow.
Kurzweil believes that nanotechnology is going to play a big role in this transformation.
Okay.
He suggests that it could allow us to repair damage at the cellular level,
Okay.
boost our cognitive abilities,
Right.
and maybe even achieve a form of immortality by replacing aging organs with bioengineered ones.
Immortality. That's a pretty bold claim.
It is.
I mean, it's one thing to talk about replacing a heart or a lung, but how do you replace the brain?
Yeah.
That's where our consciousness lives.
That's where things get really interesting and a little controversial.
Oh.
Kurzweil believes that consciousness is an emergent property of information processing,
Okay.
not something unique to biological brains. He suggests that as we develop more sophisticated AI,
Right.
we might be able to create artificial systems that are capable of conscious thought.
Hold on a second. Are you saying that we might one day be able to upload our minds into computers?
Yeah.
Like live forever as digital beings?
It's a pretty mind-bending idea, isn't it?
It is.
And while it might seem like something out of a movie right now,
Right.
it's a concept that serious thinkers are exploring.
Okay.
The idea is that if consciousness is just a matter of information processing,
Right.
then theoretically it should be possible to transfer that information from a biological brain to a non-biological one.
Okay, but even if we could do that, would it really be us living in a computer?
Right.
Or would it just be a copy, a digital twin that thinks it's us?
That's a profound philosophical question,
It is.
and one that we don't have a clear answer to yet.
Yeah.
It raises questions about the nature of identity.
What it means for consciousness to be continuous.
Right.
And what it truly means to be human.
These are some pretty deep questions.
They are.
It feels like we're venturing into the realm of philosophy and metaphysics here.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
The singularity forces us to confront not just technological questions, but philosophical and existential ones as well.
Right.
It challenges our understanding of who we are, where we're going, and what our place is in a universe that may soon be filled with artificial intelligence.
Okay, so if we reach this point where AI surpasses human intelligence, what's to stop it from turning on us?
Right.
I mean, Hollywood loves to portray rogue AI wiping out humanity.
Yeah.
Is that a realistic concern, or is that just for the movies?
It's a valid concern,
Okay.
and one that we need to approach carefully and thoughtfully.
Right.
There's no guarantee that superintelligent AI is going to be benevolent, just like humans. AI could be driven by self-preservation,
Okay.
the need for resources.
Or even ideologies that we can't fully comprehend.
So how do we prevent that from happening?
Right.
How do we make sure that AI is aligned with human values and goals?
That's one of the biggest challenges facing AI researchers and ethicists today.
I bet.
It involves designing AI systems that are not only intelligent,
Right.
but also transparent, accountable, and aligned with human values. We need to develop safeguards, ethical frameworks, governance structures
Right.
that ensure AI is used for good
Yeah.
and doesn't pose an existential threat to humanity.
It sounds like we have a lot of work to do.
We do.
But all this talk about super intelligent AI and mind uploading can feel a little overwhelming.
I understand.
What about the more immediate impacts of the singularity?
Okay.
How might it affect our lives in the next few years or decades?
Even before we reach that hypothetical point of superintelligence,
Yeah.
the accelerating pace of technological change is already having a profound impact on our lives. We're seeing it in the automation of jobs, the rise of personalized medicine,
Yeah.
the spread of social media, the blurring of lines between the physical and digital worlds.
So the singularity isn't just some far-off event. It's something that's already happening all around us.
Exactly. And understanding the forces at play can help us navigate this rapidly changing landscape,
Okay.
adapt to new opportunities, and mitigate potential risks.
I'm starting to see that, but can you give me a concrete example of what life might actually look like after the singularity?
Okay.
What kind of changes might we see in our everyday lives?
Imagine a world where you can communicate telepathically with others,
Okay.
where your thoughts can be translated into actions instantly,
Wow.
where the diseases are diagnosed and treated before you even experience symptoms,
That would be amazing.
where virtual reality is so immersive,
Yeah.
it's indistinguishable from physical reality.
Okay, now that definitely sounds a bit more like science fiction,
It does.
but I have to admit it's a pretty intriguing vision of the future.
It's a future filled with both incredible possibilities and daunting challenges. Yeah.
And while we can't predict exactly how it will unfold,
Right.
understanding the concept of the singularity can help us prepare for the transformative changes that lie ahead.
So what are some of the key takeaways we should be thinking about as we move forward? What does the singularity mean for someone like me trying to navigate this increasingly complex world?
I think one of the most important things to remember is that the future isn't set in stone.
Okay.
The singularity isn't inevitable.
Mm.
It's a possibility,
Right.
and one that we have a role in shaping
Okay.
by engaging in thoughtful discussions,
Yeah.
exploring ethical implications,
You're right.
and advocating for the responsible development of AI.
Yeah.
We can help steer this technological revolution towards a future that benefits all of humanity.
This has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much.
We have.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this complex and thought-provoking topic.
You're absolutely right. The singularity is something that will continue to challenge and inspire us for years to come. So welcome back. We've been exploring this whole idea of the singularity, and it's clear that it's a lot more than just some far-off science fiction concept.
Right.
It's something that could have a real impact on our lives maybe even sooner than we think.
I think what's important to remember is that we're not just passive bystanders in all of this.
Right.
We actually have the power to shape how technology develops and influences our world.
I agree. But where do we even begin? The singularity seems like this massive, complex thing.
It is.
What can any of us actually do to make a difference?
Well, for starters, simply being aware is huge.
Right.
The more you understand about artificial intelligence and its potential implications,
Yeah.
the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about its development and how it's used.
So knowledge is power, even when we're talking about something as complex as AI.
Absolutely. We need to be having these open and honest conversations about the ethics of AI,
Right.
the potential risks and benefits,
Yeah.
and the kind of future we want to build.
That makes sense. But these conversations can't just be happening in universities or tech companies, right?
Right.
We need to bring these discussions out into the open.
Exactly. We need to make sure everyone has a seat at the table.
Yeah.
When we talk about AI.
Right.
We need to include diverse voices and perspectives to make sure that the development of this technology is guided by a wide range of human values.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How can we get more people involved in these conversations?
Education is a great place to start.
Okay.
We need to make information about AI accessible and engaging for everyone,
Yeah.
not just the tech experts.
Right.
Think documentaries, public forums, online resources,
Right.
even incorporating these ideas into school curriculums.
I love that idea, making it something that everyone feels empowered to learn about and discuss,
Exactly.
not just something that's shrouded in all this technical jargon.
Right. The more people understand the potential of AI,
Yeah.
both the good and the bad,
Yeah.
the more likely we are to harness it for the benefit of all humankind.
So education is key. What about some more concrete steps? What can we do to make sure that AI is developed responsibly?
There are some fantastic initiatives already out there.
Okay.
Organizations focused on AI ethics,
Right.
researchers working on safety mechanisms for advanced AI systems.
Mm.
You can support these efforts by getting involved,
Okay.
whether it's through advocacy, volunteering, or even just staying informed.
So we can vote with our time,
Yeah,
our money, and our voices to support the ethical development of AI.
absolutely.
What about those of us who aren't tech experts?
Yeah.
Is there a way for us to contribute?
Absolutely. One of the most valuable things anyone can do is simply think critically about how AI is showing up in your own life
Okay.
and in your community.
Right.
Ask questions, challenge assumptions, and don't be afraid to voice your concerns.
That's encouraging. It means that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI, no matter what our technical background.
Exactly. The singularity might feel like this abstract concept,
Right.
but its impact on our lives will be very real.
Yeah.
It's up to all of us to make sure that this technological revolution leads to a future that is both innovative and benefits everyone.
This has been an incredible journey into the world of the singularity.
Yeah.
We've gone from the mathematical roots of the concept to the possibility of merging with machines
Yeah.
and the importance of developing AI ethically.
Right.
It's clear that the future holds some incredible possibilities,
Yeah,
but also some big challenges.
it does.
The key takeaway here is that the future isn't set in stone.
It's not.
We have the power to shape it
We do.
by having these open and honest discussions.
Yeah.
Supporting responsible innovation and always being willing to learn and adapt.
Absolutely.
We can navigate the complexities of the singularity and create a future that benefits all of humanity.
I think that's a great point to end on.
So to everyone listening, remember that you have a voice in this future. The future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together. Stay curious, stay informed, and let's build a future that is both technologically advanced and ethically sound. Until next time, keep diving deep.